That game was so fun, but the only thing I remember about that is that you needed a memory card for it.
Yes.
And it didn't save it to the cartridge.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you needed the memory card. I never had the memory card, so you never got to keep your progress.
Duane, I was the exact same.
Hi, I'm Jac, and welcome to another episode of the Ultimo Gaming Podcast. I'm joined today by
Chelsea
Duane.
And Tom.
And Tom's our special guest, and he will be going through his gaming 2x2. So I'm going to hand it over to him. Tom, would you like to tell us about your first game?
No problem. So I would consider myself probably more of a casual gamer. I'd say social gaming is sort of more my interest. Sort of a bit more of a nostalgic vibe. I like everyone together playing as a team or with each other. I'm not so much into solo gaming. But my first game I'd have to say would be Halo 3 from the Xbox 360 days.
Absolute top pick right there.
Yeah.
Just attractive blokes.
That's
Just really
right.
like picking that game, don't they?
It's a great game. I think it just sort of does it all. Obviously, the campaign and solo part is a lot of fun. I liked playing co-op with my friends. But the main attraction to that game, obviously, was on Xbox Live, playing with friends. I can't tell you how many Friday nights after school sort of thing, coming home, joining up with teammates and getting stuck in for hours on end. It was...
Yeah, I think what a lot of people overlook too in like Halo 3 is that the custom games for that was insane. Like, it was probably the first sort of game where you could pretty much create your own mini games. So essentially how with Fortnite and Minecraft, they have their own mini games built into it. Halo 3 kind of pioneered that.
For sure.
Like, I guess Gary's Mod would have did that initially, but for a console game, that was the first one of its kind where you could set up your own games, because there was like Duck Hunt, Fat Kid, everything like that in between. And that sounds horrific, but there was just a whole bunch of ways you could play with the custom game settings to get what you wanted to do.
Yeah, 100%.
And Forge, and that was like the first
Forge
sort
was
of
great, yeah.
like map making tools in a game where you could take one canvas, I could make something, and then you could give it to Tom, and Tom would make something completely different.
Yeah, 100%. And it just gave so much variety when you were playing with your friends. So obviously we did play on Xbox Live a lot, but the other thing was LAN battles. So having, 8 people in a house, 2 TVs, just in a separate room or next to each other, and just so many different game modes that you could try out. So you maybe get over the regular Slayers and stuff, and all of a sudden you're having mongoose races and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. So yeah, just a lot of unbelievably happy memories with that game. And recently, with the Master Chief Collection, a lot of people jump back on, and I know I did with my friends not so long ago, and have a few sessions, which is always good fun to revisit it.
Yeah, I actually brought this up recently that Master Chief Collection is such a great steal for the amount of, because it goes on sale pretty frequently.
Yeah.
And I think you can get all 6 games for like $20 or something like that.
It's something like that. It's unbelievable. Amazing value.
Yeah. What was your next game though?
Next one, another social game, which is a computer game, Age of Empires 2. So it's another one that's been sort of rebooted, sort of in the vein of Master Chief Collection, but there's the definitive edition of Age of Empires 2. So that was a game growing up on computer that everybody sort of had. I think it used to come in a cereal packet as well. Maybe that was the original Age of Empires. You got a disc with it.
I think so.
Yeah. But obviously it's a strategy game where you take control of an army and you've got to build your little civilization up and then take on the other armies. Back in the day, I used to just play that solo on the computer, which was a lot of fun, campaign and just setting up different maps. It's another one where you can create a lot of your own maps, which is a lot of fun, a lot of customization. But recently, with the definitive edition, it's really good fun playing online. So for me, that game was particularly prevalent during COVID, during lockdowns, when obviously you couldn't go out so much and see your mates. Group of friends and I would get together online, just on Steam, and play like as a team. So there'd be sort of 4 of us on another 4, and it was just a really good way to connect to people. And the game itself is it's a lot of fun.
Age of Empires is real-time strategy though, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So you've got to like constantly be active, and so it's not like Civilization where you take a turn and.
No. It's real time. It's non-stop. It's very, very active, and there's a lot of you call it micromanaging. Micromanaging. That's it. So there's sort of larger strategies. It's a game that can get very technical. So sort of, I guess the appeal to me, I like having sort of you build up a big civilization, big army, and then have these huge battles.
Yep.
But that's not the best way to play the game. And the better you get at it, there's all these sneaky little tactics you can do. And
isn't it more like what is it? Is it Spacecraft 2? What am I thinking of?
Empire Earth was a similar one, and then
what had the Zerg Rush in it? That was like.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to think of what it is. It's someone will correct me in the comments. But like you can like do early rushes and stuff like that in Age of Empires.
Yeah, that's pretty much the name of the game once you get a little bit better. So it's but it is a lot of fun. Like it's very speed related, which you just got to be quick on the trigger. But again, it's great because you can sort of talk to the people you're playing with as you're going. It's just a classic, and
we know how much Jac and Chelsea love real-time strategy games. They love being on the ball 24/7.
I am very much a Civ girl.
Okay.
I like the capacity to really sit and think for 10 minutes about what I want to do before I do it.
Yeah, I'm sort of more inclined to that as well, but this one really works. And the good thing about Age of Empires as well is you get to pick your civilization that you play with, so from the start. So
are there major differences between the civilizations?
There are, massively.
Okay.
So they all specialize in different things, because there's sort of infantry, there's cavalry, there's siege weapons, there's navy, and each civilization specializes in a different one, and they have special units that the other civilizations can't create.
Yep.
So over time, as you play the game, you figure out which ones you like to use. And it's a little bit of tic-tac. What am I talking about? Rock paper scissors, where it's like, one type of thing is good against another, but nothing is completely dominant. Like there's always a counter.
Mm-hmm.
So a big part of the game is like seeing what your opponent is doing. They're spamming horses or something, so you're like, okay, I need more siege.
Okay.
So you really have to adjust on the fly, and there's so many different options. And then you research as the game goes on. You collect resources and gain money, and then use that to upgrade your civilization.
I'd say like the only real-time strategy game that I've played was probably Halo Wars.
Okay,
that's the only thing I've really played. So I can kind of accustom it to that in that way.
Yeah.
Who makes the game? It's
a good question.
But
it's Microsoft. Like it's a Microsoft product,
but
it's
okay.
I can't remember who developed it.
Because the other thing I wanted to ask too, because you said it was just recently re-released. Was it like updated graphics and everything like that?
Yeah, like not fully updated, but it's really
cleaner,
smooth and clean.
Yeah.
And then they recently, so they made Age of Empires 1, 2, and 3 way back in the day, and 2 was the most popular and the best one, which they remastered into the definitive edition, and then they've made an Age of Empires 4, which is about 3 or 4 years ago, which is like kind of new and stuff.
Right.
I played a little bit of it. I prefer 2. It's like the updated graphics and stuff don't really
sometimes
make up for the gameplay. Like there's the original's amazing.
Yeah, so. I have dabbled in Age of Empires 2. I do find it somewhat overwhelming as you get into having to have so many micromanaged things all at once. Mm-hmm. But it's actually a really fun game. I enjoy it.
Yeah, that's my experience with it as well. I sort of almost prefer the more amateur side of it than when you get up against like really good players. And it's funny because we sort of played all through COVID, and we got really good to a point where I almost said to my friends, like, it's not as fun anymore because like to me, the appeal is building your civilization, getting everything upgraded, having this great thing, and then taking from there.
Well, so that's Age of Empires. Yep. What's your third game though?
Third one is a throwback. It's a Nintendo 64 game. I'm gonna go with Snowboard Kids.
Tom is like hitting all the points for me. I love Snowboard Kids.
It's a great game. It's sort of like it went a bit under the radar back in the N64 days. Mario Kart and Diddy Kong Racing and stuff are sort of the premier racing ones, but I always had a real soft spot for Snowboard Kids.
I love that game.
Just the feel of it and the soundtrack, the colors, everything about it was just, I don't know. It's really nostalgic for me, and Yeah, I love it. I think it was actually one of the first Nintendo games that I had. So
Yeah. So to kind of explain, Snowboard Kids is very much like Mario Kart. It's different because you're kind of going downhill and then you'll take a chairlift and go back up to the top for your circuit. And it's very comical. So it's about a bunch of kids snowboarding essentially.
Yeah.
Hence the name. But you've got weapons where like there's like ice balls and you can freeze your enemies and stuff like that.
Exactly
there's another one where it's like the snowman.
Yeah,
it turns him into a snowman, so you lose control and you just get turned into a
snowman. You just go straight, yeah. So there's two types of weapons that you can pick up as you're racing. There's projectiles, which are like that. So there's ones where it's like a parachute. If you hit the opponent with, they fly.
Oh, yeah.
There's an ice thing, which freezes them. There's a snowman, which makes them go dead straight, so they just fall off a cliff sort of thing.
Yeah.
There's bombs. There's all sorts of things. But then there's other weapons which are like...
defensive sort of stuff.
Yeah, so there's like, you shoot a bunch of pans in the air and they flatten everyone. Or...
or
your ghost, which goes to the person in first place and slows them down.
Yeah, it's kind of like, isn't there like in Mario Kart, there's something that slows down the lead spot, isn't there? Isn't there?
The ink.
Is that the ink?
Yeah,
I think that just
the ink.
blocks.
Yeah.
The blue shell absolutely destroys.
It's the equivalent of a blue shell, except that like
Slows
while
you
you have
down.
the ghost, you go slower. But yeah, just the levels are really fun. There's so many.
I just love the, you know how you can turn invisible?
Oh yeah, that's a
it's-
great one. So you can go invisible and
You can
avoid.
dodge everything.
Yeah. No,
But
it's,
the snowman, but you said the parachute, and I forgot about the parachute. So
that was maybe
as
the
you go
best
off a jump, like you get air, you'd hit someone as they go over the jump, and you just send them a parachute, and they go take
float
forever to
for-
come back down because
They just float for 2 minutes. Yeah.
But that game was so fun. But the only thing I remember about that is that you needed a memory card for it.
Yes.
And it didn't save it to the cartridge.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you needed the memory card. I never had the memory card, so you never got to keep your progress.
Dwayne, I was the exact same. And that's like one of my... It's almost an endearing memory because I remember having the game and I'd play a bit before I go to school or something. And
Leave it on.
I'd have to leave the Nintendo on all day, otherwise I'd lose my progress. So there's like 7 or 8 levels or something that you'd have to beat, and then you get the bonus levels to try and finish the game.
Yeah, it's
But
like
you
Mount
couldn't turn it off.
Silver and like
That's
the Quicksand
correct.
Desert or
Yeah,
something.
Quicksand Valley, yeah. It's a
So
cool
Very
Yeah,
one.
much
that
a
was more.
throwback to that earlier generation of gaming, the sort of like 8-bit, 16-bit era where memory cards were not a thing.
Yeah, I feel like with the Nintendo 64, there was kind of some of the games needed a memory card, but most didn't.
No.
So it's like you didn't have to have one. So then you'd get a game that needed one, and you'd kind of be like, oh
shit.
don't know,
Yeah.
like I'll just make it work.
The funny thing about that, Snowboard Kids is actually developed by Atlas.
Yes.
So by the guys that make Persona.
Yeah.
Like the fact that I was in love with one of their games very long time ago, and now I like their games now.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah, they've got a style. I mean, that's like pretty much anything that Rare used to make was amazing.
Oh yeah. Don't even get me started. Like
Banjo-Kazooie.
James Bond, Banjo-Kazooie.
Smashed it.
The Rare Replay collection that's available on the Xbox is pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you played any of those, Chelsea? Like the Rare Replay stuff?
No.
I feel like that's a total. We should like do like a game review where Chelsea has to sit down and play all these games and
Yeah.
can't just keep playing Minecraft, love.
Oh, come on.
What's your next game? Or your last
So
game,
this
I
will be
should
my
say.
last one. This is a little bit of a different one. So all of those are kind of multiplayer team sort of games. The last one though is a game called Braid. So Braid was a game on Xbox 360. I think the guy who made it was a guy called Jonathan Blow. I don't know why I remember that, but it's... To describe the game, it's a little bit like set up like a Super Mario. So it's like a 2D platform sort of thing where you have to solve puzzles on each level. But the reason I love it so much is how creative it is. So essentially the game is all about time.
Okay.
So this is a game that got unbelievable reviews from everyone because of how creative it was. But basically your little character, as you're moving through this story trying to save a princess, like in Mario kind of thing, every level has a different version of sort of time manipulation that you can use. So it's quite difficult to describe, but so like say you're running through a level to reach the other side and you've got to solve puzzles as they go. Some things in the level will be unaffected by like reversing time and other things will be in reverse already.
Okay.
And then you manipulate time and it changes where things are in the level. I'm probably explaining that very poorly.
So you've got controls like to change.
It's literally
time.
just like jump and move,
Yep.
but then on each level there's different things that you can do, like levers that you can pull that will either pause time or reverse it, and you have to use your brain to figure out how that is going to help you get to the end. So you'd like to collect a key. So I haven't played Braid personally, but the only thing that is sounding quite similar to me is Blinks the Time Sweeper. It's a little bit like that, except 2D.
Yep.
And the puzzles are more, do you know what it kind of feels like? You know in Zelda, how there's like something to solve. Like there's a puzzle that you need to solve, and you might get really frustrated and you're sitting on it for like an hour and you're like, this game is broken. Something's wrong. Like I should be able to do this. But then when you figure out how it actually works and you do it, it's got that feeling of just release. You're like, oh, that is brilliant. Like, how did you think of that?
I was actually going to make the comparison to sort of like Mario meets Zelda.
Yes.
Right.
Gameplay.
Because you've played it, hey, Jac?
Yeah. And just artistically, it's gorgeous
that was
too.
The
like
next
the
thing,
art design is incredible.
Stunning. Yeah, it's like this watercolor sort of palettes. The soundtrack is amazing. It's like really peaceful kind of thing. And just the color palettes, like you said, Jac, and everything is just, it's designed so cleanly and it's just so, I don't know, it just feels really good to play. And then the last thing I'd say about it is the story is actually incredible as well. The way that it sets itself up, it's sort of, I won't spoil it because I would really recommend it. Like, I think if I had to recommend one of those games,
it'd be Braid.
It would be Braid, just because there's not a lot of games I've played like it.
Okay. So you say like it's almost like a life-changing experience playing?
Oh man, I thought about it for like weeks afterwards. I played it when it came out. I think it would have been like 2008 or something like that. I remember it's a one-player game, but I was playing it with my best mate, and we were just up till like 4 a.m, finishing it, like just trying to solve these puzzles together. And then the ending is so sort of cryptic, and just the way the story unfolds is really fascinating. And it just gets you thinking about a lot of different things. And then I replayed it a few years ago, and I was like, this is
you gotta
so
love
great.
those games that are like put you in that post-game depression.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, it's not a long game either. Like you can smash it out. Oh, I don't know, probably like a few hours sort of thing. But it's just well worth it. It makes you think, and it's really satisfying to complete. So yeah.
So that's the game you'd recommend?
That is the game I'd recommend. I mean, they're all good games, but I'd recommend that one just because. I mean, most people have probably played similar games to the other ones that I named.
Okay.
And it's also available, I'm not sure about the Xbox Series X because I don't have one, but certainly available very cheap on the Xbox One.
Is it on Steam as well?
I'm not sure. I think it was an Xbox exclusive.
It was at the time. I'm just trying, because I replayed it not so long ago. But that might have been on Xbox One, actually. I think you might be right, Jac. Or maybe I did play it on my Series X. It's out there, and it's cheap because it's a small game.
Yeah, I think with the Xbox Series X you can play Xbox One titles on there.
Yeah. So, no, it was like a downloadable one from whenever that era was.
Okay. Like the free games.
Game Pass sort of
Game
thing.
of Gold, whatever it was. Or...
Yeah, I can't remember the title of it, but the equivalent of Game Pass or whatever it is.
Okay.
I think it won a few awards and things as well. That guy's famous game developer. Here we go.
It's available for pretty much everything, including macOS.
Oh, wow.
Amazing.
And on mobile. So
on mobile?
Yeah.
Ooh, it does suit that, actually, now that I think about it, because you can just scroll across the screen.
You've just made it so he's not going to complete any assessments now. He's just going
to... Yeah. I gotta
made
go.
it so I probably won't complete my assessments. I'm just going to go home and start playing Braid again.
Yeah. That sounds good. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on today.
No, thanks for having me.
Thank you. That's been another episode of the Ultimo Gaming Podcast. I've been joined by
Chelsea,
Duane,
and Tom.
Thank you for listening. You can find the video version on YouTube, or you can go to our website for the audio version.
Perfect.
We'll see you next time. Bye for now.
See you guys.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.